shed some light on Kal Bhairav?
Yes, sure. I mean, look, Tantric practitioners will speak about this in great depth with more authority than me. So I acknowledge that I'm not the authority here. So Kal Bhairav, the name itself, has two elements to it. Kala means time. Bhairav means the terrifying aspect of Lord Shiva. Kal Bhairav's purpose is not to destroy, as is colloquially said. Shiva is the destroyer. Kal Bhairav's purpose is, and I say Kal Bhairav, Shri Kal Bhairav Ji's purpose is to take people to their rightful destination. Now, what is the rightful destination in Hinduism? It is Sat Chit Anand, as we have experienced. To get to Sat Chit Anand, we have to shed our identification with this body, mind, intellect. Okay, this ego. How do we do that? We merge through different pathways. Until we get to the pathway, we have to go through the experience of karma or different things coming up, and say, okay, well, I really fancy black, so I'll live a life. Then suddenly one point will come where my life is black alone. That karma is then being expounded. Then at least at that point, if I say, okay, I need to move towards the higher, then the spiritual path begins. So Kal Bhairav is the fierce form of Shiva that is dragging us through our life experiences towards that ultimate destination. And why is it fierce? Because it is dragging us, whether we want it or not. It will create conditions in our life that will take us to that divine destination. Kal, we said we are all being consumed by time eventually. And dragged means he accelerates the journey. Kal Bhairav Ji is the Kotwal or the dispenser of justice in Varanasi. Varanasi we see as a place in India, but from a Sanatani perspective, it is not just a place, but a collection of a specific consecrated set of energies that are present in various temples, where various spiritual practices are undertaken and where an acceleration of evolution can take place. Yeah. I'm not going to speak anymore on Shri Kal Bhairav Ji, just because the more you speak, the less believable it becomes. And even if I speak about it, ultimately it's something that we have to experience. But Kal Bhairav, there are stories associated which I can just maybe cover in an instant if you want. But Kal Bhairav Ji's purpose is to accelerate our evolution towards the ultimate goal.
Maybe by giving you material gifts early on so that...
As needed, yeah. So Kal Bhairav Ji's first appearance in the Puranas is in Shiv Puran, associated with the passing of Sati Mata, who was Shivji's first wife. And what, as many people know, what ended up happening at Shri Daksh Prajapati's yagya was that Shiva was not invited. And when Sati Ma went...
Daksh was Sati Ma's father.
When Sati Ma went, she was... Not only was she insulted, but through her, Shivji was insulted as well. And then, she decided to, through yogic process, exit because she could not bear. When Shiva reached, he saw the lifeless form of Sati. And he took out one of his jata in his anger and smashed it on the ground. Through that appeared Shri Kal Bhairav Ji. Now, this is the story, this is the Puranic version of it. If someone is truly interested, they can go in depths and understand what is the meaning of each one of these things. What is the yogic process through which Sati was consumed? Why was it important to have Shiva there? I'll explain this one thing. Shiva, it was important to have Shiva there because otherwise the yajna was done purely for material gain. Shiva is the spiritual truth. And only taking, you cannot do yajna for material gain. You have to do it for spiritual truth and accept that the material gain that comes. Our motivation cannot be to use the elements of Sanatan Dharma to become more powerful. We have to have the highest perspective with us. Otherwise, it's an insult to the traditions. Yeah. So we can go into depth if we respect this, the Puranas and understand them. Or we can at surface level say, what is this? What is this? This is irrational. These are stories. These are myths. You say it's myths, then you miss the point. Fine. Okay, if you want to miss the point, then theek hai. But and I'll never say this, but if I were to say it's a myth, then I can believe that. But I won't say to you, you are wrong. If people don't believe it, it's fine. Don't believe it. But don't tell people who are believing it that you are wrong. Why? Because when I judge people who are believing it, I recognize that I don't know. Kal Bhairav is an entity, is a power, is a manifestation of a divine that is beyond any of our conceptual capability. So we should treat it with respect and try and understand and make progress. And if we don't understand, if we reject it, fine, reject it, but don't discourage other people. Don't break other people's faith.
Would you like to highlight Kalima and Tara as well?
Similar to Kal Bhairav, Kaal appears in Kalima as well. Now, people assume that Kalima is called Kali because of the color of her skin, but no, because she's taking us to our divine destination.
What is Kaal?
Kaal is time.
Okay.
Kaal is time. So Kalima takes us from where we are to our ultimate destination, which is we are all bound by time, but she will accelerate our journey through it. So a similar function you can say to Sri Kal Bhairav in a different concept, in a different context with a different energetic reality associated with Kalima. Kalima is shown as is shown in a very fierce form, but she's also a very loving deity. Only the fierce form is, if you can go beyond the fierce form, you get to the loving Kalima, who is nurturing and takes care of her, takes care of those who go to her. Shri Tara, now this is a very deep concept, aspect of Shri Vidya, which again, I'm not really qualified to talk about, so I won't go in huge amount of detail. But Tara also comes from that word Tarini. Yeah, one who takes you beyond, one who accelerates. So I believe, and I may be wrong, I believe Tarini Ma is Tara Ma is a younger form of Kalima. Right? More youthful, more energetic, draws you with greater pace.
Draws you with greater pace?
Greater pace.
Than Kali?
Yes, more dynamic. Chalo. Yeah.
Really?
Now, these deities are consecrated, they are worshipped by skilled and qualified practitioners. If one wants to worship them, then please seek guidance. Don't just play with energies that you don't realize. And if people are drawn through the conversation that we've just had, then don't take my authority at face value. Use this as a starting point and go to a qualified acharya. And actually, I will say this on all subjects. People said to me, oh, so you now become a guru, huh? I am no guru. I'm nobody's guru. I'm no guru at all. I'm not even an acharya. I'm not a teacher. I am a seeker like different people, like you, like anyone else on the path. I am a seeker. If a little bit of knowledge has landed in this head, then you can think of me as a milestone or a direction board. You want happiness? Go here. You want truth? Go here. That is all I am. So if people are encouraged by this conversation, they want to go deeper, then seek that depth.